Over 6,000 local and international participants are in Naivasha for the 4th annual Devolution Conference, which will be opened this morning. President Uhuru Kenyatta will preside over the opening of the conference, the last of the first batch of governors of the devolved governments. And now would like to hand over to Michelle Ngele, who will give us an update on what is happening in Naivasha as we wait for the president to arrive and officially have the conference open.
Now, preparations for the 4th annual Devolution Conference are still ongoing here in Naivasha. The conference is expected to officially kick off at about 10 a.m. this morning, soon as President Uhuru Kenyatta, who is presiding over the event this morning, gets here. And this is an especially important event for the devolution story in Kenya. It is the 4th annual Devolution Conference, but also the last Devolution Conference for the pioneer devolved governments. And also the annual conference comes at a very critical time politically, considering that Kenya is headed to the general elections in August for the very first time with county governments in place. But the very objective of this particular annual conference here is to really enhance the understanding and appreciation of devolution as a system of governance that focuses on public accountability. And here to explain more on the objective of this annual conference, Nairobi Deputy Governor Jonathan Mweke now joins us. Mr. Mweke, a lot has been said about this conference over the past 4 years, but the theme this time is devolution, transforming lives. Tell your story. How is the importance of this theme?
The importance is how this big gift to Kenyans, devolution, has changed people's lives, has transformed lives, and has been able to help the common citizen move forward in their lives. Of importance, you'll hear in this devolution conference, being the last one before we get to the next election, is the number of firsts that the counties have scored. You'll realize in some areas like Turkana, the first tarmac road was ever seen through devolution with the county government of Turkana. Counties like Mombasa, the first open heart surgery was done in Mombasa. Counties like Nairobi, which I'm part of, the first electronic payment system using technology to serve citizens more efficiently and effectively was seen. So it's really about some of the things that devolution has done to uplift the citizens of the people and to bring services closer to the citizen.
Right. Let's talk about what development economists would call the devolution dividend, reducing the gap between the developed communities and the marginalized at the grassroots. 4 years on, has devolution managed to narrow that gap?
Absolutely. Devolution has created wealth. You'll realize that before, all the money sat in Nairobi, and even while development could happen in some of the counties or the districts then, the contractors would come from Nairobi, the people would be sent from Nairobi to go and work in those district headquarters, and so on and so forth. So the locals never really got to develop. Wealth was not created and money did not go around the communities. Now you're finding in some counties, I'll give you a county like Nairobi, where we are saying, listen, the people in Nairobi, the contractors of Nairobi, some of them even specifically, we go to the contractors in a specific ward, are the ones who are going to get some of the contracts to do infrastructure, to build roads and so on and so forth in those places. And the same has happened in the rural communities. So what's happened now is, since wealth is being created through the devolution story, then you see other development, social development things happening, like schools come up, because now people are able to earn a living in the remote countries. So schools now come up to cater for their children, hospitals come up to take care of their health, entertainment spots, restaurants, and so on and so forth come in. But Michelle, one very important thing of devolution that sometimes we overlook is it's showcasing the uniqueness of our country. Counties are beginning to get identities of their own based on their own local environments. And this is really showing the kind of diverse people we are culturally in this country and what makes Kenya such a great country.
Right, and I see stands here from all the 47 county governments that will be exhibiting a few things. But now that you bring it up, this is the very first time that Kenya is headed to the polls with county governments in place. Last, in 2013, it was more about implementation of the constitution. And there's a lot of fears among Kenyans, with this election, whether there will be election-related violence that will reverse the gains that have been seen by devolution. How is this likely to play out for the very first time?
We are preaching peace. The Governor Kidero and myself have been on record, especially in Nairobi, preaching peace, and that's why we condemned the gun drama we saw the other day between Senator Sonko, the Nairobi Senator, Dennis Waweru MP, and Peter Kenneth, because we want people to be able to compete on ideas, people to be able to compete on what it is they can do to make the lives of people better. What's important to me in this election, because of the kind of development opportunities that devolution brings to the normal Mwananchi, it gives the citizen a voice. I think for the first time, the citizen now will begin to elect their leaders based on what their leaders have done for them. It's going to be very clear right now that County A was able to succeed, County B was not able to succeed. It's not because County B didn't have money, but because County B chose the wrong leader.
Right.
And so Mwananchi now is going to be more enlightened and is going to start picking leaders based on what they've been able to do for their people, which is a very big step towards democracy in our country.
Right, and of course we still have a lot more to learn when it comes to devolution. Today we're expecting more than 6,000 delegates.
Correct.
I understand some of them are from countries across the world that have a similar experience with devolution as in Kenya. I'll point out the likes of Switzerland, for example. Despite initial challenges, it was able to use devolution to entrench cohesion and integration in the country. Is devolution a tool we can use to spread a positive ethnicity?
Yes, absolutely, and that's why I mentioned earlier that counties are beginning to show the uniqueness. And if you look at even the theme of the Council of Governors, it says 48 governments, one nation. At the end of the day, we are one nation that should live together in peace and in harmony. It is important, Michelle, to note, though, that the Devolution Conference is not about governors and deputy governors. It's about all stakeholders, and now it's becoming globally of devolution. We have the national government. Indeed, the head of state is going to be at this Devolution Conference. We're going to have the head of the opposition, or the heads of the opposition. You're going to find Honorable Raila Odinga and Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka at this Devolution Conference. You're going to find development partners, the World Bank. You're going to find constitution offices like control of budget, independent offices like the Auditor General and so on and so forth are all participating in this story of devolution. What this means is it's bringing everybody from all walks of life together with only one interest at heart. How do we develop our citizens and enable lives to be transformed for our people so that this country can move forward?
All right, many thanks. Nairobi Deputy Governor Jonathan Mweke there, just giving us a brief of what we expect at this fourth annual Devolution Conference. The clarion call here being the devolution transformation over the past 4 years, and all Kenyans across the country being urged to come out and tell their devolution story. Over to you, Mike.